All right, I happen to get these questions. I told you guys you can ask me anything you want. So these are some of the questions that I received below my channel. So I'll answer these, and if I've not answered your question, send it to me later. If I feel that is worth answering, I'll answer. So without wasting time, let's move on. First question is by Amir Hussain, who asks, why does the universe exist? What's the point of all this? Are we in some kind of simulation? See, when you ask the question why, you're seeking a reason. Like, for example, why does air not talk? Or why does sound not smell? Does it make sense to that question? Why? Why doesn't sound not smell? Why doesn't air not talk? So you'll think like, I don't know why. Why can be because, and we'll try to find a reason for that. Okay, so same way, when you're asking why does the universe exist or not exist, or we are trying to find a reason to it. There is no why. If you ask how, okay, there you can figure out how. It's like, for example, why were you born? When you ask that question, people generally, the answer that they give is a spiritual answer. Like, you were born for a purpose, you were born. Like, from the universe to our existence, we as human beings try to find a reason, a worthwhile reason to live or exist or to move on. We want a higher purpose. So that is why the why comes in. But according to me, if you ask me, there is no why. It's just how. That's as simple as it gets. And the why, you can fill up the blanks and decide why it exists or what's the point of all this. Whatever, see, the question that you have is seeking a meaning, a reason. And that depends from person to person, and there is no universal answer. Next one. How many expats will lose their job after Expo 2020? JHC fan. All the excess roles that were created during Expo, all the excess roles, which are now no longer needed or sustainable, all those jobs will go. Whatever percentage it increases, that much percentage it will decrease. It's like during the boom period when they were expanding aggressively. During the recession, they had to remove all these extras, and they had to remove even less. So when it comes to a normal phase, they will employ only how much they need. So in answer to your question, how many people will lose their jobs is directly and indirectly proportional to how many extra people got jobs. Okay, next one. Babur Awaz Muratov. Okay, what are your future predictions, say 5 to 10 years from now, on financial situation of the world? Nobody can predict accurately. Okay, we can, like, for example, I tell people, you can tell me the wrong time. For example, I'll tell you the time is 10:15. Right now, I'll tell you the time is 10:15. And it's not. However, twice during 24 hours, I'm right. Because the hands will move. So in the same way, I can predict anything. I can say the economy will go up. So just like the day, somewhere down the line, it will go up. And then if I tell you the economy will go down, somewhere down the line it will go down, and then I'll say, see, I told you so. The economy moves in cycles, up and down, up and down. So it'll either be up or it'll be down, one of the two. But one thing is for sure, because of this pandemic, now people are going to be very scared to spend. They're going to be very careful. And for the next at least 50 years or 30 years, this generation is not going to be reckless like how they were pre-COVID. Next one, Artman. What do you think is the best college degree for job prospect and salary? If you manage to graduate from an Ivy League school, Harvard Business School, or Yale, or IIMs, if you graduate from a premier school or premier college, your life is made. If you graduate from Pondicherry Institute of Gopinath or Alagulla, Rasgulla, Rawalpindi, Pakistan College of Neuroscience, don't expect any miracles to take place there. So it all depends if you're going to a recognized university. And if you can't afford that, the only other option would be check with your consulate or check with your embassy, which is a totally recognized institute, one of the top, where let's say the creme de la creme come there and graduate. But remember, end of the day, it's not the college degree that will help you. It's your real world skills. Next one, Visruthli Vlogs. Okay, Loy, can you give me a list of apps and websites that you've used over a period of time that have helped you immensely in terms of productivity, entertainment, monetary, time saving? This will help a lot of people save energy, time in apps and sites. Thank you for your content and interaction. Okay, I'll put the list below what I do. But I can tell you it's nothing great here, nothing out of the way. I use Gmail, I use Grammarly, I use YouTube. More or less the same stuff that you guys use, man. There's nothing out of the world. Like I tell people, it's having a productivity app or anything is not going to make you super productive. Only thing it'll do is make your work a little faster. Like for example, instead of a slow iMac, I have the fastest iMac I could afford. Instead of a PC, I bought an iMac because everything is integrated. I spend much more on my technology than a normal human being. Reason being is it makes my work easier, productive. So in terms of apps, there's nothing specific. I just use Google Docs, I use Gmail, the G Suite. There's nothing out of the way, man. Seriously. The only one app which I can think of is the one for sleeping, because I have trouble sleeping. So it's Calm, CALM. That helps me relax. And in terms of games, online, my addiction is Dominations. The other game is Funky Bay, which is like a farming game. Rest, there are some shooters and here and there. But like I said, I'll make a list down below and I'll put it. And if in case I use any new app, or if I forgot to tell you, I'll comment, I'll update this list accordingly. Next one, Sark Info. How to get into a particular industry as a fresher, and how to design our CV, and what factors to be focused on to get a job in a short period of time. Okay, there are many points here. How to get into an industry as a fresher. See, it's very evident. If you're a fresher, you don't have any experience. Keep your CV simple, just basic. Let it be more of your profile and character, personality. Make sure that you have recommendations from the right people, and use influence to get into the industry. Okay, others it's not possible. And wherever possible, work for free. 1 month, 2 months, keep working for free. I know people who have literally worked for 6 months without pay, and they work so hard they get absorbed. So you need to keep working until an opportunity opens itself up. Then the next one, what you have asked is how to design our CVs. You can even make it a gold-plated CV with diamond, diamond encrusted gold-plated CV. You can make it designed by the best of the best. All this doesn't help. It's just content. Nobody gives a job based on how beautiful your CV looks or how attractive it looks. It's all content, and that is the main reason why I stand out. What factors should be focused to get a job in a short period of time? Influence, contacts, or get professional guidance. There's no shortcut to this, especially when you're a fresher. Next one, ESD, your detailed analysis on investments. I just tell people, invest in something which you can put your money for the next 10 years and not think about. That's the best investment you can have, and always invest with government assured securities. Like if you're an Indian, try LIC. Okay, do not go for these high risk private institutes and banks, because end of the day you cannot trust them. So anything that the government issues, I would say go with that. That is much more safer. Or if you're thinking, go buy slow stuff like buying a land, but make sure that you stay near the land or the place. Otherwise you'll have legal problems later, especially in some countries where if you buy a land and you don't stay there, someone can claim that. Okay, and as far as Bitcoin and all this, these are just speculative assets. I don't even call them an asset, just speculation. If you like gambling and you're prepared to lose, then get into it, others don't. Next one, Hal Clarkson. Why ICAO doesn't take action on Emirates Airlines forcing passengers to land in UAE if they are wanted in UAE without international warrant. Emirates Airline bounty collector. Money talks. What can you say? It's as simple as me asking you why Jamal Khashoggi didn't get punished for the crimes he committed. Money talks. He has money and power. The Dubai Sheikhs, they have money and power. UAE has money and power. As long as that is there, not Dubai, I'm talking of Abu Dhabi. As long as that is there, nobody can touch you. Like, see, the Minister of Culture, whatever his name is, they had an allegation on him. Anything happened? Nothing happened. Sheikh Mohammed was indicted by a UK court. Anything happened? Nothing happened. So, like I said, money talks. Next one, Bharat Krishna. How much money do you make off YouTube? Per month, around $1,000, give or take. I don't even check. It just goes straight into the savings of my baby. But I could say roughly around $1,000 per month. Next one, Artman. Should people be scared of AI taking over jobs and not having an income because of that? Yeah, this was the same fear that people had in the 80s when the computer was created. They thought computers will take over and people lose their jobs, which is true. Computers did take over and those people lost their jobs, but a new breed of people were needed to manage the computers. So when AI takes over, the existing breed who have not developed their skills or up their game, they will lose their job, but the new generation will learn how to operate these AI and the cycle continues. So it's not going to be like AI will take over the whole world. Then human beings will become extinct. And that is one of the major fears that forward thinkers have of AI taking over. Abhinav Rajesh, your editing rig setup reveal. I still have to get the wiring done. After I get it, I'll share it. I have put a video before of my studio setup. Before it was just the iMac, the 55-inch monitor, Samsung for playing my PlayStation, and then I have a dual screen for my iMac, and now I have the Samsung ultra-wide Odyssey with this. It's really fast. I mean, I just switch it on, it comes on. It's pretty fast. It has RX 9500 and the graphics card is 6800 XT. So I'll show it once it's ready. Trevor Smith, my Thai wife told me that Thai men, when uneducated and drunk, can try to cut a tattooed man with a knife in Isan, northeast Thailand area, where they think of tattooed men as criminal and cannot be cut when drunk. But when drunk, they might try. Tattooed friend was warned of this and going back to Isan with his wife. Good luck avoiding drunks. I met drunk people here and there. They seem pretty normal. I met Thai men who are as tattooed as me, not the face. Some have on the face. I mind my own business. I don't know. You mind your own business. You don't go out in the night. You won't have any problem. And I don't interact with people. I'm always in my own world. Elvin Miguel, is LinkedIn a good platform for job seekers or personal branding? No, it is not a good platform. It is filled with people spamming with nonsense, useless junk. Every CEO director who I've got in touch with, they tell me that they get bombarded with CVs and emails and unwanted ads and posts. It's a terrible platform. It has been misused. The only way it is good is if you are influential and you're trying to get in touch with someone equally at your level. Okay? For personal branding, no. For marketing yourself, it is good. Marketing and selling your skills, but not for personal branding. Okay? I see a lot of professionals spend way too much time on it. They are jobless. They're idiots. I don't take... I've stopped... I closed the option to send me a friend's request because per day I was getting like 40, 50. It was becoming too much. Finally, I disabled that sending me a request. Even after that, people send me a request. People from all over the world are sending me requests. I don't even know who the fuck they are, man. It's bad. LinkedIn is shit. It's not worth it. Then content creations are more of rubbish creations, I must say. Share your thoughts. Well, I told you, LinkedIn is shit. Arjun Manoj, if you win 10 million US dollars post-tax in a lottery or inheritance or lawsuit, what would you do with the money? Keep it in the bank. Not touch it. Not tell anyone about it. Act as if nothing happened. Continue with my life. Exactly how it is. Would you retire off YouTube and personal branding? No. I love my job. I love what I do. I used to do this even when I was not paid money. So I'll continue doing this. It's my passion, man. It's not for money that I'm doing this. Money is important, but even if I get money, I'll just keep it in the bank. Continue this. But I would never tell anyone. Never tell anyone. How would you invest the amount? Well, one thing is keep some for the baby, keep some for the wife, build a house. Core important things. Save for my baby's education. And rest, just keep it and have a decent life. No need to buy fancy cars. Would you buy fancy cars? Absolutely not. Would you live in Thailand? Yes, I would. Move to some other place? No. Can you do on video on specifically how you'll spend or invest with a breakdown? I told you. Simple. Complete the house. That is very important. Save money for my baby's education. That is important. Keep some money for me and my wife. And in case I die, wife has access. And continue life. Don't show, don't do anything. Eat good food. Have a decent life. Yes, I would like to get a proper studio for my work. That's one thing which I like. That's it for now at least. The unknown. Generally speaking, what's your outlook for the future of the world, in which direction things are going? Right now, because of the pandemic, it's survival of the fittest. And it was needed. This discipline was needed. A wake-up call to people to stop living a life of credit, to stop taking life for granted, and to stop spending way beyond their means. I think for the next 30 to 50 years, people will be disciplined, and now they'll not spend like before. Like the generation that came after the Great Depression, they were very wise, very smart, and they saved money. After that, it just went downhill. So human nature never changes with time, but after a shock, for a generation, they'll be okay. Ahmad Omar, what are some good small business ideas for Dubai? For someone with a starting capital of 100,000 USD. I would say if you're opening a business in Dubai or UAE, do a simple thing. Don't open an office. Don't open any extra thing. Just don't even take a trade license. Okay? First, with whatever you have, see how many customers you can get. See how many buyers you can get. See how many people are willing to pay you money. Once you have that in line, do a small trading through somebody else. If that continues for some time, okay, make sure, or you can take a license, trade license, small, no office, no nothing. Just take a virtual license. Do small trading. Don't show off. Don't announce proudly. Don't do anything. Keep your expenses zero. And keep trading. Keep whatever you're doing, or provide the service. As the income comes in, keep investing that. And the 100,000 that you have, remember, the 100,000, spend only 10, maximum 20. Don't touch the rest of the money, because money going is easy. Money coming is impossibly hard. And saving money after the expenses is the most impossible thing. That is why so many people close down. Keep in mind, there'll be plenty of bad debts, unpaid amounts, and people who will ask you on credit, which you should not do. Mohammad Suhail Irfan Khazi, room setup tour, what type of PC and other equipment you use with specs? I think I already answered that before. I use an iMac with a LG 27-inch monitor for my main work. I have reference speakers. I'll put the model down below. I have a PC that I just purchased, which is a 49-inch ultra-wide Samsung Odyssey with the AMD Ryzen 9500 with the 6800 XT graphics card, gigabyte I think. Yeah, it's fast. That one was for gaming and learning Windows. The other one is for productivity and work. And I have a 55-inch Samsung monitor for my PlayStation 4 games. When I get bored, I have a Switch, and I have this camera that is the GoPro. That's enough, man. I don't need more than that. In fact, I might buy a laptop, but then again, I know if I buy the laptop, it'll most probably remain and I'll not do anything. So I'm just avoiding that itch. And if I do buy a laptop, it'll be top of the range Zephyrus Duo. That is what I'm thinking, but as of now, I don't need it. But I'll share, maybe after a few months, I'll share the studio setup once it's ready. Next one, Ali Sinha reading comments, okay. Joel, what would you do if you won the lottery? Joel, I already answered that from this guy. What is it? Arjun Manoj, he asked me. Gali Rijal, have you ever feel tired creating videos every day? How do you overcome laziness? Yeah, personally speaking, sometimes I sometimes wonder, like one day people will get tired, people will get bored. I mean, even me watching the same program, at some point I might lose interest. It happens with everyone. So boredom is normal. Do I have that insecurity and feeling that people will get bored? Yes. Do I have a feeling that I might get burnt out? Yes. But it's always a possibility because we all are human beings. But what do I do to overcome this? I spend 30 minutes or 1 hour or sometimes just sit down and think. I think what content I want to put. I think, okay, what can I do that is slightly different, that would engage the people. But most importantly, I keep it genuine, I keep it sincere, because I think that is what people want in the end, you know. And how do I overcome laziness? If I'm burnt out and I don't feel like doing anything, I just take it easy, I relax. But otherwise, I can't afford to be lazy because I'm the only bread earner, man. When you're the only one who's earning money and your whole family is depending on you, you can't afford to be lazy. Then Celestino D'Souza, is it better to leave contract job before it ends? No agreement is signed. No, never do that. Never, ever, ever do that. Always remember, bird in hand is worth two in the bush. Trolls Catcher, I wonder what is your take on LinkedIn? Total waste. It's a totally useless site. Absolute fucking useless. I get emails from people looking for jobs rather than offering me jobs. It's normal. It's become a desperate place for desperate people. What would an AI of you look like? I think it would be an aggressive version of, you know, Avengers. You have that guy, no? What is his name? Yeah, that Wanda Vision. Yeah, Vision. Yeah, his name is Vision. It would be Vision, something like a Vision, but slightly aggressive like the Hulk. Get pissed off and say "fuck you," you know. Then Butterfly, are you not concerned about your safety knowing how violent and extreme Islam can be if they believe your opinions have insulted, degraded their religion? Of course, that fear is always there. And that is why I never stayed in any Islamic country. And that is why I don't talk about, never talked about Islam when I was in an Islamic country. It's common sense. So, you know, here in Thailand, it's a Buddhist country and Buddhism is very peaceful. They mind their own business. It's a beautiful religion. I like Jainism is actually the most peaceful religion in the world. I've never heard of anyone beheading anyone in Jainism. Hinduism also, it's not that open-minded. Like in India, if you were to say anything about Hindu gods, I think you can go into jail. Christianity, nobody gives a fuck. They're pretty chill pill. But with Islam, they start, Islamophobia, then chopping, cutting, stoning to death and killing. They are the most sensitive religion and they are the most violent of the lot. And this is not just me talking, being biased. You just have to look at facts. Murtaza Shamsi, politics question. Under the Biden administration, will the US-Saudi relation become strained, either because of human rights violation or because of the administration's softness towards Iran? How will the US-Saudi UAE relationship go forward and Qatar benefit or lose out of existing equation? Good question. The answer is simple. Biden is a diplomat like Obama. He wants to be in the good books of everyone. He wants everyone to like him and he wants everyone to talk good about him. So even if he does shit like bombing a country, it will be based on where where is it more profitable for us. So now, personally speaking, they'll talk like they are taking Saudi to task, but they're actually blackmailing them indirectly because they want favors from them, money, donations, support. Because MBS, he was explicitly supportive of Donald Trump. Okay, Putin, explicitly supportive of Donald Trump. So all the Donald Trump supporters are just waiting for Donald Trump to come back, or a Republican. But they'll not do anything. Biden, on the other hand, will not try to rock the boat or shake things up, simply because it will be bad for US. US needs these people. US needs this support. Others, they'll get jacked. So they are not going to rock the boat, but they will show that, see, listen, you don't support me, you're going to get all this, talked about. That is why they exposed MBS. Okay, but they are not going to do anything there. With UAE, they will just keep it like, you give us the same amount of money you gave Donald Trump, will be in your good books. But UAE is slightly at a disadvantage with Biden. Qatar, same, just like UAE. They will bid and try to buy their friendship and buy a good seat in the house. That's all they will do. But as far as possible, both the sides know they have a lot to lose if they talk bad. So they'll continue with the same bullshit just to be relevant. That's why even Biden, so much he spoke, what did he do to China? Nothing. Donald Trump spoke so much about China. What did he do? He just focused on the economy. But yes, he was more divisive. Biden will be more quiet. But I can assure you this much. Even though Donald Trump used to talk, Biden will not talk. But behind, he will continue with the Trump policies. In fact, check it out. How many people have been detained, deported, separated from their families? Even more than what Donald Trump did. But they'll hide the news. Okay, Sabre, just one suggestion. Kindly provide a way to donate in a way where people who don't have a CC can contribute to you. Simple, man. I've put it. You can either contribute PayPal, loy@loymacedo.com. You can send me a WhatsApp message and send it Western Union, or bank-to-bank transfer. Want to support the channel? It's very simple. And I told you, whatever money I receive, I give it for my daughter's future. Fiery Indian, do you regret the tattoos? Absolutely not. Tattoos have been part of my brand, and it has propelled me to the success, from my TED talk that I spoke, to the Coca-Cola viral ad, to being featured on national paper, to being voted as Yahoo's influencer of the year or whatever shit they called, but the ministry took it down. All this is because of my tattoos, and I'm unforgettable because of them. Had I not had them, I'd look like a typical South Indian, which is boring. Also, pros and cons of tattoos. There are more cons than there are pros. I have always told people, don't get a tattoo. Seriously, don't get. And if you want to get it after the age of 40. Because by the time you'll know clearly what you cannot do, what you like and should not do. And if you're getting a tattoo, get it in a place where you can cover it. And if you're in the banking, airline or service industry, never get it where your sleeves or neck, just keep it where it can be covered and hidden. Others, and please never get a cheap tattoo, and don't ask a tattoo artist for a discount. Kishore Kumar Das, expat LGBT life in the Middle East doesn't exist. Keep it quiet, keep it under wraps. What should one do about growing LGBT in the Gulf, and how to live alone without getting married if such a person wants to live, sir? Thank you, sir. If you are homosexual or lesbian or whatever, queer, stay private. Nobody is interested in your business until you put it on social media or talk about it and advertise it. I stayed with so many females, multiple of them. Nobody bothered me because I was minding my own business and never put it on social media. So whatever you're doing, do it privately, do it quiet, and nobody will bother you. So even LGBT, don't make a big noise about it. And if you can, stay in Dubai. That's the best, because Sharjah follows Sharia law. So Dubai, pretty free, mind your own business, stay in a quiet area, and live and let live, man. But remember, you advertise it, you'll get fucked. Sabre, as a graduate in a not very general field in India, video game design and development, should I continue to hustle in India and further my career, or immigrate to a different country if the opportunity is given? Migrate, Baba, migrate. Not immigrate. What is immigrate? Migrate. please migrate ASAP, because better opportunities, better chances to grow. And if you can go to Canada or Australia, really good, even New Zealand. But best is Canada because it's closer to US. You'll get better opportunities there because you're specialized. If you're general, I would say just grab whichever country gives you an opening, provided you're okay to work in a small position. And last but not the least, Ahmed Omar, tell us all the reasons you believe Indian culture and mannerisms are bad. Who said Indian culture and mannerisms are bad? Every culture has quirks, mannerisms, habits and behaviors which look funny, which are funny. Like for example, Indians eating with their hand. I remember when I married my Irish wife, she saw me eating with the hand. She's like, yuck, you eat with your hand. You know, we eat with the hand. You know, sometimes you see Kerala, they make like a ball. But they find that disgusting. But they don't think that wiping their ass with tissue and not with water, that is fucking disgusting. You know, do you know how many whites don't have fucking bath? They just don't have bath. They are so fucking unhygienic. So many of them. But they laugh at others. So looking from outside, see for example, you yourself, your culture, there might be so many pathetic, dirty, ugly things which you accept. But people from outside might find it stupid. For example, your name is Ahmed. So the presumption is you're Muslim. So how many quirks are there that Muslims follow that people find horrendous, ugly, obnoxious? How about talking about that? So instead of looking at some other culture and making fun, why not look at your own? The only reason I make fun of some of the things Indians have is because I'm an Indian myself and I make fun of myself. But that doesn't give you a right. You know, you look at somebody else and make fun. I make fun of myself. I make fun of my own culture. I make fun of my own tradition. But not everything. There are some things which are bad, but many things which are good. So instead of you being a Muslim... sorry, my camera died out. Okay, it died out. So anyway, like what I was saying, Ahmed, is, so focus more on you, your culture, and find out what you don't like there, instead of focusing on some others. Every culture has something good, every culture has something bad. Every country has, every individual has, every company, whatever. So stop focusing on others. Start looking at yourself. I think that is where you'll grow more. So this was an Ask Me Anything for you guys. Hope I answered most of the questions. If I forgot anything, let me know. And this is me signing off. You guys take care. Ciao.